So I recently broke my foot, and that has left me with a lot of time to think about For Honor and what For Honor's game plan is for the future, because I've been having some issues with it. I stopped playing a few seasons ago. There's many reasons why, like me getting into other games and not being in my For Honor cycle. If you don't know what your For Honor cycle is, it's you play For Honor, you have fun, but then you get bored because of how repetitive the gameplay can be. You take a break, then you start having withdrawals, and then you play For Honor again. Everybody's cycle is different. Mine was like a 2 months off, 1 month on kind of thing. But this is the first time in a while I've actually broken out of it. I just can't get myself to play. Normally, some things push me to play, such as a new character, a new map, or a new game mode. But all three of those things have released since I stopped playing, and I still lack the motivation to play. This video is partially for me, but also to see if anybody's feeling the same way as me. Jiren looks cool, but if the characters that they are going to be releasing are not going to have any new mechanics, then I just can't bring myself to care about them. I bought every single hero since Kyoshin except for Jiren. I take another hero with Meijei's mechanic, but like do it right this time. Obviously, Sohei was awesome, and still my favorite hero except for Peacekeeper, of course. Another thing I feel that they do is lock unique mechanics behind feats, making characters extremely one-dimensional play in 1v1, 2v2, or early game in 4v4. The biggest example of this is Ocelotl, who has his only unique mechanic locked behind his first feat of being able to revive himself anywhere. What is the reason this needs to be locked behind a feat? Obviously it can't be used in 1v1 or 2v2, but in early game 4v4, you don't have the entire character's gimmick unlocked unless you get your first feat. Characters such as Griffin, Zonu, Afira, Var, Kyoshin, Hitokiri, and Pirate don't have any unique mechanics to them. And we already talked about Ocelotl, but that's just 8 characters off the top of my head. If I was looking at the roster, I would guarantee that I would be able to find more. I also think it's a completely realistic expectation for every character to have a unique mechanics to them. If you look at other fighting games, or even the characters they were originally releasing in this game, all of them did. Now the only unique things that they add to characters are the feats. Characters have had Jiren's tap and hold gimmick since literally the game launched. The only difference between him and them is that every single move that he has it. All I'm saying is that you have 6 months to develop a character. Nobody cares about meta relevance in this game. Just give them some crazy stuff. Go into status effects like poison or freeze. Have a character who can't parry and has lower health, but insane damage potential. Make a character who has crazy amount of health, but low damage potential. A character who's built around revenge, but make it usable in 1v1s. All of that was just off the top of my head right now. And yeah, they're harder to develop, but you have 6 months, and they made really cool and unique characters before, such as Sohei, Virtuosa, and Meijei, but they messed it up. There are so many characters in this game, and so many of them play exactly like each other. I'm tired of every single character needing an unblockable, and undodgeable, and hyper armor. It's so annoying. Like, oh wait, I can't wait to guess my 33rd undodgeable bash mix-up of this match. Yay! Of course, you can still have that. You can still have that in these characters, but you add other stuff to them. Stuff that you're actively worried about and that you're actively playing around, like how you don't want Soe to get a guard break on you because he'll get his souls from that. I'm not asking for them to reinvent the wheel, just spin it in a different direction they've been spinning it in. Some characters fall into an in-between state like Jiren or Khatoon, where yeah, they play slightly differently, but we're just too far in for me to care about that, because of how much the roster plays the exact same, and because of how much I've played that roster. Playing slightly differently isn't enough for me anymore. I think they are cool characters, cool concepts. They just fumbled the bag with all of the characters that I mentioned before. Had they not made all of those characters play the exact same, then I wouldn't mind this because they wouldn't play nearly as similar to everyone else. Adding just like completely egregious characters like Pirate, who just have absolutely nothing new to them, barely even anything in the feats. It drags the average down. It makes it to where most characters do play the exact same. So even whenever there is that plays slightly differently, it's still slightly different from most of the roster who play the exact same, if that makes any sense. I understand they don't exactly have the budget of a AAA game here, but I wouldn't mind having to wait 7, 8, 9 months if it meant that the next character they release I would actually care about, and that it would actually like make waves, would actually do something for the betterment of the game. Instead, they just release another character that's just the same character as this other one, but with a different coat of paint over it. And playing with the characters isn't just the only issue. Like I was saying before, whenever characters have new mechanics like Sohei, like needing the guard breaks to get his souls, you know that he's going to play around that. Like if he only has the top light left for his souls, you know that he's going to try and hit the top light. That adds an extra little sauce to this fight. Like you're playing around this character because you know that if he manages to get this move or that move, then you're at an extreme disadvantage. So you have to change your play style to play against the character that is fun. That's what the type of thing that this game needs, because it makes it more than just another 50-50. Whenever you do play Sohei, you still have the unblockable guard break mix-up, but whenever you have this soul, whenever you have these other mechanics, it makes it more than just a, I bet that he's going to guard break me this time. I bet that he's just going to throw the unblockable this time, because you're working towards something that means more. Sometimes it doesn't even have to be something that you work towards. Like if you have a character that has a freeze mechanic, you know, I can't tell you exactly how it's going to work, but let's say it's just a really good status effect. This one move applies the freeze mechanic, but it isn't as powerful as this other move. This other move does more damage. So you have to think, do they want to put the status effect on me, or do they want to do more damage in this situation? You have to think about it more than you would if it was just another 50-50. The only thing that I can hope is that they actually make the changes that they need to make to this game. They seem to just be afraid of making stuff a lot of the time for competitive integrity. But there's not a competitive integrity in this game. All right, there is tournaments, there is a comp scene, but this isn't Valorant, this isn't CS:GO. We can add content to this game. Sometimes it will be unbalanced. Jiren was the most broken character that has ever graced this game. When I was watching the reveal, I was freaking out because they added everything to him and more. They made him incredibly unbalanced, probably the most since day one Shigoki with his passive hyper armor and his one-shot hug. So why can't we make a character that has these fun new mechanics, even if they're broken? Or even make them bad. It's the same thing that happened with Sohei. He was bad, but people, including me, still played him because he was fun. After his release, and as time went on, they balanced him, but still kept his gimmick while bringing him in line with the rest of the cast. Virtuosa was insanely broken whenever she came out, but people still enjoyed the release because of how fun her kit was. We are going to end the video here before I blow a blood vessel. Hopefully you had fun. I had fun making it. Please subscribe and like if you made it this far. You obviously enjoyed the video to some extent, and as a small content creator, I would greatly appreciate it. All right, thank you. See ya.